All right, take a quick look at the screen. All right, we're in subdomain 5.4. Given a scenario, follow incident response procedures. So you need to have an incident response plan. The company needs to have an incident response plan. You don't want to make it up as you go. Documented incident types, category definitions. So there's different types of incidences, and they should be responded to appropriately. So we're going to categorize the incidences, or the incidents, based off of category, type, and severity. Roles and responsibilities. So when an incident occurs, as soon as the team is notified, it's crucial that the appropriate people take charge and they know what their roles and responsibilities are. Reporting requirements, escalations. Now, the reporting requirements can be within the company or they could be to regulatory agencies. There are some laws, whether it's payment card industry, whether it's HIPAA, that if there is a breach, at some point these agencies need to be notified, and there's a certain time frame for that. And also internally, how do you escalate, right? Because you can't jump every time something activates a tripwire. So you might have the threshold set too low where different SIEMs, different systems are constantly pinging you, say, hey, something bad's happening. So anyway, is it something that requires escalation? Cyber incident response teams. You need to have a team in the company. Now the size of the team will depend on the budget. In some smaller teams, there might be multiple roles that are handled by just one person. You might have a one-man shop for cybersecurity in a very, very small company, right? Larger companies, more people, more differentiation of tasks, and also, maybe you're a bigger target. And not to say that small businesses get ignored, but larger company with more assets may need a bigger incident response team. Exercise, hold simulated exercises. So you got to run some drills. So same as the, maybe the military, maybe the Navy running some fire suppression drills, right? Hold some exercises. Say, hey, if this happens, here's what we need to do. Let's practice. Timed drills, and then an after-action report. How well did you do? What can be improved? Now there's an incident response process. So there's general industry guidelines, right, which we'll give here, but each company might have their own. They might leave something off, they might add something, there might be more detail, but preparation is key. You need to be prepared in advance. Think about it. Think about your vulnerabilities, what potential threats there are. How do you identify what class the threat is? I should maybe break that out some. The next is containment. Right? Do we start pulling cables, powering things down? Sometimes that lets the bad guys know that you're on to them, and then they start cleaning up and heading out the door. So, depending on whether your priority is to gather forensic evidence or just to shut this thing off, clean up, and get back to work. Right? It's a policy decision from up higher. See, containment, eradication. So if there's malware that's been placed upon the computer systems, the servers and whatnot, any IoT devices, getting rid of it, making sure you've gotten rid of it. Then you need to do recovery. So maybe you had to erase some data that was corrupted or infected. So you got to recover things back to a working condition and test that. And at the end, there's always a report, lessons learned. So you may not have the same staff 2 years in the future, so somebody needs to keep a record and say, hey, when this happened, here's what we did. So what did you learn? Document that, and then the team has that they can look at the next time something similar happens. Okay, that should be about it for 5.4.